Hey everyone, Sparks back with an Etheria restart video. Now this is a game I was kind of really excited about, but then I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to get into it or not, and then I started playing it, and I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about this game. So in this video, I want to just give you a little bit of an introduction to what Etheria Restart is, what its battle system is like, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, just a little introduction to it, and I'm going to be making more videos about this, so subscribe if you want more content on Etheria Restart, as well as, of course, Nikkei, Girls Frontline 2, all the stuff that I already do. So let's go ahead and get into just like a little bit about the lore. It's set in sort of a cyberpunk world where you have implants that allow you to interface with a digital world, and then there are AI characters you work with in that world. They explain this technology with Etheria numbers being between real numbers and imaginary numbers. I don't know, that just sounds kind of like complex numbers. I don't know, I'm not an engineer. It's been way too long since I've taken calculus or algebra, but you tell me if you think that sounds like a real thing. Basically, it's technobabble to explain something that's kind of like the Matrix. You can plug into a virtual world, and then there's some kind of corruption that you have to combat called Genesis. So that's the world. It's interesting enough. I have to say, it's pulled me in a little bit more than I expected. Somehow it gives me like vibes from like the Tales series. If anybody played that old RPG series like called Tales of Symphonia and all that, let me know you're a real one. Comment. Anyway, let's talk about what the combat is. So it's a turn-based party system with skill cooldowns and turn meters to decide action order of your characters and the enemies. So if we take a look at it here, at the bottom of the screen, there's the turn order. And then in the right-hand corner, you can see your character's 3 skills. Some of these will be accessible all the time. Some of them will have cooldowns where you can only use them every, like second, third, or fourth turn or whatever. If you long press on one of them, it'll give you a full description of what that skill does. And then in the upper left-hand corner, you can see all of your character's HP. Sometimes you'll have a party of 4 or 5. And then the HP of the enemy is displayed above it, just kind of like hovering above their heads there. And something that's kind of cool is this buff button in the upper right, where you can see any number of debuffs on your characters, as well as any of their skills if they're on cooldown, and of course any debuffs and buffs of all the enemies as well over in the other tab. So really handy. Definitely take a look at that when you're starting out. You can get a lot of information on kind of what the enemies do, what your characters do, and just sort of a general sense of what's going to work in combat. I'm just going to use some of the moves with my character here. He's a free one, and I really like this little combo to increase my crit and then also give him an extra turn so I can follow up with a big AoE that debuffs the enemy's defense as well. I haven't played that long. It's only been since this morning, but there really looks like there's going to be a lot of great strategy here with turn manipulation and a lot of unique characters. This is not an auto battler, okay? And to be honest, that's really refreshing. I feel like so many gacha games fall into the trap of making you grind all the time, but then trying to make it easier for you to grind at the same time. It's like, do we want to actually play the game, or do we auto it? Is it strategy-based / skill-based, or are we just like sitting here to watch things? I don't know. So far, I've really enjoyed the gameplay here, and I appreciate it. Outside of combat, you'll be running around the world, finding items and so on. You can also like sneak up and ambush enemies. There's kind of like a little stealth mechanic where you can hide behind cover, and then you can gain an advantage in that fight with like a first strike if you sneak up on them, or even avoid the fight altogether and like take them out instantly there just on kind of the overworld map. But now let's talk about the gacha. This is something that I'm sure everybody's interested in whenever there is a new gacha game announced. The gacha is great. The rate-up banners have only the targeted character, okay? This is really cool to see. I actually don't think I've ever played a game that has done this before. Obviously, there are other characters on the banner, like maybe I should clarify that, but if you get an SSR, the rate-up character is the only SSR. Honestly, this is huge. I mean, it's just really cool to see that, you won't get a random other characters when you're really trying to get this one character. And of course, there are banners that aren't rate up where you'll have just like a general pool of units to get all the time. By the way, there is a PC client as well as a mobile version. The official launch is June 5th. but you can get into the open beta right now. It's a beta global launch. Something worth noting is that you can purchase things, okay? Purchases can be made in the beta, which feels kind of weird. I haven't decided if I want to do that or not. It feels like the devs might be just trying to get people into a like sunk cost situation early. But on the other hand, I've heard interviews and streams from them, and they kind of give me good vibes. Like, seems like they are making an effort to make this a really good game, and they are trying to listen to the players. You can't keep anything you buy in the beta, of course, but you will get a rebate for the real game. So your money isn't just like wasted. And then the rebate's going to come with an extra bonus. So up to 200% of the currency that you spent, depending on how much you did spend. I would be cautious with this. Like I said, it seems like they have good intentions, but in the end, you are spending money on a beta without knowing exactly what the final game is going to be like. So only do this if you feel comfortable. Another good sign is that there is no weapon banner, so you will only have to pull for characters. Plus, duplicates don't really change the abilities of characters. It only adds base stats. But speaking of, characters and their equipment and stuff, like I said, you don't have to pull for a weapon, but there are 4 types of equipment and 6 slots for each character. So equipment in this game is called modules. You'll have 3 different pieces on the left-hand side, like for head and arms, etc. And then there are 3 slots on the right for accessories to be equipped. Of course, all of these are different rarities, and they come with randomized stats, and you can farm these. Now, if you go to prowess, that's where you can level up skills. You can also level up your character on this menu as well. And then shells are kind of another piece of gear, but sort of a little like assistant or pet that will give you various buffs and additional effects in the battle. Also, going back to prowess, in the middle, this is where you can see your dupes and what they do. So like I said before, each dupe will give you a little stat buff, but not more abilities. I like this a lot. It's similar to a game like Nikke, but, one of the things I don't really like as much about a game like Girls Frontline 2 is that characters actually get more abilities. And of course, there are other games that do this as well. But in this game, the pressure to pull a bunch of copies just isn't like that, right? Because you just get a few extra stats, very similar to like Nikke. A lot of characters just function great in Nikke without getting a lot of duplicates, and I feel like that's the same over here as well. Anyway, I'm going to keep making videos, and I'll be streaming it later today as well. Probably I'll be streaming as soon as you're done watching this video, so join me over there. Link down below to my Twitch if you want to watch on Twitch. If not, I stream here on YouTube as well. Subscribe so you don't forget more Etheria restart videos, as well as Nikke and all that. And I'll catch you guys on stream.